Today we will be learning how to find text evidence to help us visualize. And this connects to remote learning week 2, lesson 1 in ELA. I've called this lesson Descriptive Language, and it's based on remote learning instruction notes from the BCPS packets. Our learning objective. We will describe the characters, setting, and events in the Great Man of Nebraska by using descriptive language in order to visualize a scene. So I want to talk about what visualizing is and how do readers do it. So visualizing is when you are able to see a picture in your mind. You might not be able to see the thing in real life, but you can picture it in your mind. And good readers visualize by creating mental and sensory images while reading. That means you're able to take the text and make a picture based on the details from that text. Good readers can imagine a picture or movie of the text in their mind. So an example, here's a passage called Owl Moon. Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. So you can see this is a visual image of the reader of what that text is talking about. So some tips for visualizing are looking for sensory details. Sensory details are details that talk about the 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, what you hear. Think about things that the author is describing. What is the author seeing, or what do they want you to see? What are they smelling? What are they tasting? What are they touching? And what should they hear? What would you hear if you were there? So look for those details that relate to the 5 senses. Look for descriptive language. Descriptive language has lots of adjectives. Remember those describing words. They have figurative language and comparisons. A lot of times you're comparing something to learn more about it. That man was as big as an ox. You're learning about a size based on that comparison. And the last one, it's okay to adjust and change your mental images when you're reading. You can adjust those images based on details from the text. As you learn more, the more detailed your picture in your mind should be, but don't be afraid to let it change as you learn new information. So now we're going to look at the examples that BCPS provided you to find text evidence to help you visualize. So they're focused on page 2 and 3 of our text, and they gave some text details to help them visualize. So I'm going to kind of tell you how that's helping you visualize. So on page 2 and 3, it says, he is as broad as an ox. You're describing that character. You're learning that Feebled is very large. There were too many people and not enough space. This describes the setting. The setting is very crowded. You can feel no space around the person. You can see that there's way too many people there. There were vast open spaces. This describes the setting. This tells that this setting is not crowded at all. Build a house with trees he had uprooted with his own hands. This describes a character. It tells you that Feebled is strong if he is pulling out trees with his own hands. But it also tells you about an event. It tells how Feebled built his home. He planted an orchard, set up some beehives, and began growing crops. This describes the setting. There are many things set up on his farm. So these details can help you visualize what is going on in the story and where the story is taking place.